We went to Florida to do our DPV certification. The springs were colder than we're used to and winter weather showed up uninvited. And without this piece of gear, my dive buddy would have tapped out. Cold water changes everything. It affects your comfort, your focus, and how long you can stay present underwater. On our trip to Vortex in Morrison Springs, cold water wasn't just uncomfortable, it was the limiting factor. My son Gunnar is a cold-natured kid. He doesn't have much body fat and the cold gets him faster than most divers. And when the water temperatures were sitting in the low 60s, I knew this was gonna be a challenge for him. On day one at Vortex, the cold won. Gunnar made the right call and thumbed the dive. But we still had another chance, and that's where the vest came in. Aquana sent us the OPA heated scuba vest for early testing, and instead of doing a controlled demo or a pull dive, we decided to run it in real conditions, cold water temps, multiple dives, and real consequences. The vest sits underneath your wetsuit, so you're not gonna see it working underwater. You feel it though, and that's actually how it should be. Look, these vests just perform. You don't just feel a little bit warmer, you feel noticeably warmer, especially once you're settled into the dive and not constantly fighting the cold. On Gunnar's second dive, the difference wasn't subtle. His comfort level was better, his focus was better, and he was able to stay in the water long enough to complete his DPV skills and then play around on his new black tip DPV for a good long while. Without this vest, he doesn't finish the certification, and that alone should tell you a lot. Guys, hang out until the end of the video and I'll do a full demo so that you can see if these vests fit into your dive needs or not. Hey guys, if you're new here, here's something awesome. We had real treasure underwater. We call it the hunt. If you find one of our coins, you win high-end dive gear from the brands that we trust. This thing is really picking up steam. We've landed some of the biggest brands in the industry and resorts all over the world. If you want early clue access or priority invites to our guided trip so that you can come on one of our coin hunts, sign up in the email list below. I'll shoot you an email. There are a few things that you should be aware of when you start running something like this. First, the batteries add weight. And that's not a downside, it's just something that you need to account for when you're setting up your weighting. Take the time to dial it in properly, and just so that you know, my batteries weighed right around 1 pound each. We found that running these in the hip pockets worked best for us. It keeps the weight balanced and secure and feels more natural once you're trimmed out. Aquana also makes some extension cables that you can get to run these outside of your wetsuit if that makes better sense for your setup. That's something that we're actively experimenting with, and I think that these are gonna be best mounted to your tank with an extension cable coming out the back of your neck right here, but stay tuned, we'll have more on that later. I also found a major trick for these vests. If you wear a thin hooded vest over the top of it, these things go into overdrive. That extra layer helped trap heat, reduce flushing, and made the warming effect feel more consistent throughout the dive. It even kept my head and neck warm. If you're diving cold water, trying to extend your bottom time, this is the fix. Control is straightforward. There are 2 heat settings, hot and hotter, and the remote comes with watch style bands so you can wear it on your wrist, stow it in a pocket, or strap it to your BCD. The vest also has little motors right in the chest area, and they create haptic feedback so that you don't ever have to look down to see what setting you're on. You'll get a certain amount of vibrations for off, standby, medium, and high. The battery life on these things is really good. On my dive at Morrison's, I ran it on high and it stayed on for close to 2 hours. I dove for at least an hour, hour and 15 minutes, and then I stood around in my wetsuit for another 45 minutes or so. It didn't run out of battery. I literally turned it off because I was ready to change back into my clothes. They also offer a larger battery option for these, which will run a good 4 hours. So that would open up a longer, colder dives. Since most of what matters with this vest happens before you ever get into the water, I'm gonna walk through charging, battery placement, and the controls here so that you can see how it actually works in practice. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna show you guys how to charge the battery. It comes with a power block. You do need to be aware it's got a proprietary connection on it. It's got a T-slot inside here. I'll show you some close-ups of this. You'll line up the T-slot here and just push in. So especially once you have this connected to your vest, which has this same plug, once you get it on there, you can hear it snap. Do not twist it before you go in the water. Don't twist it until you're ready to come out. One note is that you will have to have this battery on to charge it. So hold down that button for, I think, 3 seconds or so, the light will come on and then it'll be ready to charge. Let's go ahead, I'll just show you how, we'll get into the vest right quick. All right guys, I'm gonna show y'all how to operate the vest, how to don it, how to set it up, how to control it. So you're gonna undo the Velcro straps right here on the side. You'll notice these are the cables right here. You'll have one on each hip or coming right out the back right here. These are the cables that your battery go to. It does have inside pockets here. We like the hip storage of the battery better. So what you'll do is just undo the Velcro, slide in this thing, And then once you're in it, you'll take your Velcro straps, pull them around nice and snug. Then you're in this thing. Get it comfortable. If you have to undo it a couple times to get your straps just right, that's fine. So now you'll take this same cable that was running out of your hip. You'll see the T-slots in it. Line it up, push it in. You'll feel the positive engagement. Once you do that, long press on the battery button. You'll get a light come on. See the green light? And you'll feel haptic feedback in your chest right here from these little motors letting you know that it's on. And then I'm going to turn and store it right here in this hip pocket. And then as you pull your wetsuit up and you get inside your wetsuit, you're going to want to push these towards the meaty part of your glute. Don't leave them sitting right here on your hip because you have a bone right there and they can get uncomfortable. So push them back towards the meaty part of your glute right there. So once you have it on, you'll need to control it. That's where the remote, the watch style remote comes in. So your battery's already on.
Then the control of this is super easy. So you will single press to switch between your modes. So single press for low, single press for high. You'll get haptic feedback on the vest right in your chest. You'll get 1 for low, 2 for high, and then to go into standby mode, you long press it.
And then you'll pull your batteries. I like to turn mine off, long press, light goes away, and then just twist that green collar, pull it out. Just as simple as that. At Morrison Springs, this vest is what made the difference. Gunnar was able to focus on learning and executing his DPV skills instead of freezing his butt off. He completed his certification, and instead of counting the minutes, we were actually able to enjoy the dive. This vest is going straight into our cold water kit. It's not a gimmick. It's a tool that expands what's possible when cold would otherwise shut a dive down early. You guys know us, we're always tinkering, so we're still finding ways to make the experience even better, especially around battery placement, and we'll share what we learn as we go. But as it sits right now, this vest did exactly what it needed to. Without it, Gunnar doesn't do his DPV certification. I hope you guys liked the video. I'll have links in the description to where you can purchase the vest. And if you want to see our DPV certification videos that I talked about in this one, that video is right here. Hey guys, I'm Jeff and this is Generations Below, and I've got some huge news for you. Generations Below started as a way for me to share my passion for diving with my son Gunnar, who we certified at just 12 years old. Watching his transformation underwater changed everything for me, and I fell in love with this sport and what it gives back to people. That's why we founded the Next Gen Divers Foundation. Our goal is simple: to give kids access to scuba diving who would never get the chance otherwise. Next Gen exists to fund junior diver certifications and their first set of essential gear. Kids can train with the dive shop they choose and we reimburse the cost. And through our relationship with dive brands and the funding we raise, we will help put them into their first real dive kit. Every diver sees firsthand what our oceans are up against. And every diver, whether they realize it or not, becomes a conservationist. Next Gen Divers Foundation is a federally recognized 501c3 and all donations are tax deductible. You can donate once or become a monthly supporter of the cause. If you want to truly impact the next generation of diving, help grow the sport, and protect our oceans and reefs while giving kids something to be proud of, support the Next Gen Divers Foundation, donate below. We'll see you down there.